Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial. This segment's being brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. I'm doing a series of spotlights on remarkable business intermediaries from across the country. And joining me on this segment is Christy Morrell Stinson. She's with VR Business Sales. Christy, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate you having me. What a beautiful day.
Tell us a little bit about your work and specifically, who are the types of clients you specialize in helping?
Sure. So my work is as a business intermediary. And what that means is it's not real estate agency, though it is related, and we are under the same type of compliance and licensing as a real estate agent. Our specialty is buying and selling businesses. So we represent the seller of a business. We help package the business for sale, get it on the market in a way that's going to attract the right type of buyer. And there's many different types of buyers. And then we also represent buyers and acquisitions. We can do commercial real estate advisory as a subset of that work.
So the types of folks that are selling today, is this the first time that they're going through the process of selling a business? How informed are they when they reach out to you, or what kind of questions do they ask?
Sure. Well, unless it's a buyer who's been doing multiple acquisitions, typically people are not very well informed. They understand their business very well, and they have a tendency to overvalue the structure of their business. And so our job is to help them package it. And sometimes they're not quite ready for sale. So I have an exit ready enterprise program that people can go through to increase the value of their business and get it positioned properly on the market. I would mention that most brokers are focused on, let's get you to transaction quickly. Let's get you on the market as you are. I take a little more thoughtful approach, and I really want to understand your goals. And if that's not going to meet your goals, and that's going to create a situation where you're going to be discounted by other buyers too deeply, then it's probably a good idea to go through a value growth profile, value opportunity profile, and get you positioned on the market.
So speaking of timeline in selling, how early should people start preparing when they start considering selling their business? And what kind of things, what are the big things they have to get in order to be prepared to sell?
Yeah, this is a great question, Mark. So the short answer is 3 to 5 years if you really want to be optimally prepared. If you have family to transition to or internal team members to transition to, you may you want to start the process as soon as possible, because making that preparation and that transfer of knowledge, skill, wisdom, instincts to that next generation is going to be a critical piece. And there are other consulting firms that I work with that specialize in that. My focus is on the owner, on the roadmap. And we can move fairly quickly. I mean, we can get you sold in 6 to 12 months if you're ready for the market.
When you start to work with folks, what kind of like myths or misconceptions are out there? Being first-time sellers, they'd probably do a bunch of research and maybe come up with some not quite accurate information. What kind of things do you hear that aren't super accurate?
Sure. Well, I think the biggest one is that people will look at multiples. So-and-so got, a 4 times multiple of their what was left over at the end of the year, let's use layman's terms. And they'll think, well, I can get that too then. And every buyer is different. Every business is different. So we really have to look at that unique market and say, what is the real value of your business? And the biggest thing that reduces value, one of the biggest, is the business is dependent on the owner in so many ways, in so many intrinsic ways. And so that process of extricating the owner from the business should happen long before the business is put on the market in order for it to really achieve its full potential in terms of a sales price.
Christy, what inspired you to become a business intermediary? Like, how did you get started in the field?
Yeah, thank you. That's a really great question. I have had a very interesting pathway to this point. My background has been working a lot with Main Street business and up to that lower middle market size business, working alongside of the business owner to optimize different areas of their operations. And I've been doing that for over 20 years. And I typically would partner with business intermediaries. Did a lot of value growth consulting, which is a term that's used, in the lower middle market. It's not typically used by Main Street businesses. So what we mean by that in layman's terms is that we look at how can the business have the greatest value for you as the owner long term, in terms of the income that you're achieving from it, the satisfaction you're achieving from it, and at the end of the day, what are you going to be able to trade it for?
Terrific. Before I ask you my last question, is this really a good time to sell a business? And is it a good time to buy, considering that in the headlines you're hearing the great resignation? So you've got this tidal wave of baby boomers retiring and selling businesses, and a tidal wave of people leaving corporate America wanting to buy a business. Is it good for both of them?
Every market has its its ups and downs, right? Or its pros and cons. And so my short answer is it's always a good time to buy a business, because when you are in the owner's seat, you're in the driver's seat, you can optimize that business. It's a tough market right now for buyers. There's not a lot of inventory. And so I would highly recommend partnering with a business intermediary or value growth consultancy that can help you create a pool of businesses and create that pipeline for you. It's a great time to be selling your business. Right now in particular, the market is very, very hot. But there's some key things that you need to do to be ready to meet that market and really get your price.
Terrific. For folks listening, Christy, that are interested in selling a business, and then folks that are looking to buy a business, how can they find you, connect with you, and learn more?
Sure. Well, I'd love to have you meet me on twitter.com at Sarasota SMA, Sales Mergers Acquisitions. Sarasota SMA is where my office is. I can help you no matter where you are located in the nation, because I have a whole network of business brokers across the nation that I partner with, as well as the legal and financial side of things. But that's where you can find me, twitter.com, Sarasota SMA.
Christy, this has been terrific. I really appreciate you taking the time to share with my audience today, and I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Great questions today.
That was Christy Morrell Stinson. She's with VR Business Sales. And this segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.